I'm a full-blooded human, but my dad is a booze-loving corpse ghoul. Every day he makes me go next door and get liquor from the widow ghost. And my grandma is a weird, bad-tempered sewing ghost. After finding out I killed her son, she didn't get mad at all. She even told me to kill her daughter-in-law too. As for how I ended up becoming part of this creepy family, it all started early this morning. I ran into a lump of black stuff on the bridge, and before I could run, it swallowed me whole. Welcome to the world of the bizarre. You will enter this world as a player, so remember the role you're supposed to play. Player Talent Awakening. F-Rank Error Talent. All-knowing, all-seeing. Talent description. By touching a ghost's personal item, you can trigger it and obtain all of that ghost's hidden information. There is no true death in this world. Once you're eliminated, you'll fall into an even more terrifying script. A new apartment has been matched for you. Not long after, I woke up all groggy and the air was thick with the smell of alcohol. Before I could figure out what was going on, someone outside yelled, "Son!" Then a huge figure showed up at the door. He was the father ghost from room 404. He was insanely strong and brutally violent, and normal weapons couldn't kill him. The system also reminded me that I was his second son. If I wanted to stay alive, I had to complete the tasks given by my family and earn their favor until I cleared the stage. Then the corpse ghoul said he was out of liquor and told me to get him a bottle of blood pipa. I agreed right away, and the system showed it was a C-rank mission with a time limit. When I walked out of the room, I realized there were already 2 other players in the house. The girl asked me what rank my talent was, and I just said F-rank. The guy instantly started talking trash, saying someone like me probably wouldn't make it through the day. I didn't bother responding. I asked the girl if she knew where blood pipa was. She looked uneasy and said it was in room 101. Apparently, nobody who went in there had ever made it out alive. Not long after, I got there and saw a bunch of people lined up. A blonde guy told me the mission was simple. Go into that bedroom inside, then come back out. That's it. Then he told me to pick a weapon. I didn't really get it, but I grabbed a hammer anyway, and that unexpectedly triggered my talent. That's when I learned the thing in my hand was just a normal item. Since it had been soaked in a lot of blood, it could do a little damage to ghosts. So this was my talent after all. Right then, a skinny figure got thrown out of the room. He let out one last cry for help, and then he died. The blonde guy didn't even react. He just shouted, "Next one!" The black-haired player saw that and walked in without hesitation. Soon after, loud noises came from inside the room. Half an hour later, the black-haired player crawled out to the doorway, begging the other side to spare him and mumbling that he had nothing left. Then a voice from inside called out, "Next!" The blonde guy told the man in the suit to go in, but after seeing what happened to the others, the guy refused. The blonde guy still tried to drag him inside, so I spoke up and said I could go first. Then I walked into the room on my own. As soon as I went in, I saw a female ghost, and she said I was pretty handsome. She was the owner of room 101, Sister Ghost. She had a violent personality and was extremely dangerous. The moment she touched me, my talent activated on its own, and I saw all her information. I told her I definitely wouldn't let her down. Then I pulled out the hammer and started smashing her with it. She even pretended to get mad and lunged at me, and I kept swinging. I didn't stop until I got tired, but she looked totally satisfied and asked how I knew she liked that kind of thing. I just said it was instinct. She didn't press me on it and asked what I wanted. I said I wanted a bottle of blood pipa. She immediately guessed I was the son of the 404 corpse ghoul, then pulled out the so-called blood pipa. She also told me she had a deal with him. He sends people here to die, and in return, she gives him some liquor. Honestly, that didn't surprise me at all. I was just about to say goodbye when she tossed me a bag and said it was a tip. I thanked her again before I left. Not long after, I got back to room 404. The male player was the most shocked out of everyone. He asked how I completed the mission, and I just said I got lucky. Then I opened the corpse ghoul's bedroom door and said I was back. You actually dared to come back? You dared to come back without the stuff. I got it. Good son, good son. Talent triggered. The corpse ghoul feeds by using intimidation to make players generate fear. But the more fear a player has, the weaker their mind and body become. Why are you still standing there? Get lost! Hearing that, I turned and left. Then the system officially gave me my reward, a rare Scissorhands mask. Using it boosts your perception by 5%. The second I got the mask, my talent triggered again. That's when I learned that after absorbing the wearer's blood, the mask could let a player take on the identity of the Scissorhands ghost. The girl only asked about my mask for a second, but the male player rushed over and said he wanted to take a look. I dodged him and asked, "Are we even that close?" He got annoyed and said he was an experienced player, and that sooner or later I'd be begging him for help. I told him maybe that day would come, but it sure wouldn't be today. But just one day later, the corpse ghoul came looking for me again. He said he'd run out of liquor and told me to go get more. This time, he made me use a wine bottle. The second I took it, my talent triggered and gave off a strong warning. It told me I was stuck in a dead-end situation. Whether I completed the mission or not, I was going to lose my life. Right then, the male player came over and asked if I was going to get liquor again. He said there was no way I'd be that lucky this time. I quietly walked over and slapped him. He was about to snap, but I said there was a mosquito on him. At the same time, my talent told me that he'd made a deal with the corpse ghoul, but I didn't expose him. I just went straight to do the mission. On the way there, I started thinking about how to survive this. If I couldn't get the liquor, I'd fail the mission and die. If I did get it, it would spoil in this bottle, and I'd still die. And I couldn't switch bottles either. Those two were clearly not leaving me any way out. After I finished serving Sister Ghost, she saw the bottle and instantly knew I was in a no-win situation. She even told me to stay with her and said she could protect me. I didn't agree. Instead, I asked her who had a grudge against my father. She told me about the blade-wielding ghost in room 702. Whether there was a chance or not, I had to go try. So after getting the liquor, I headed to the 7th floor. Dad, Mom! Big brother, please save me. Dad got drunk and he keeps beating Mom. She's about to get beaten to death. Okay. Thank you, big brother. My home is right here.